Thank you for joining us this morning on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturtevant. Carlene Bragg is here in studio. It is Monday morning. We have a lot to get to, so let's not waste any time. So right now, we are following some breaking news out of East Charlotte. A homicide investigation underway after a shooting. Our Destiny Richards is live there on scene. Destiny, what can you tell us?
Yeah, so it's been an active scene for hours now. Police say just after 3 this morning, they found a man here on North Sharon Amity Road near or right outside of Tender Hearts Child Care. They said just after 3, they found him suffering from gunshot wounds. He was transported to the hospital and he died from his injuries there. There are fewer police vehicles than were here earlier this morning, but it's still an active scene, still lots of caution tape up this morning. We're told that there's no connection right now between the shooting and the daycare itself. There are no bullet holes in the building, in the windows. There's no damage to the building. They say this is an isolated incident right now, but we did see a lot of focus with the investigation on a vehicle that's been parked in the parking lot since we arrived on scene this morning, and there were bullet holes in the windshield. Right now that vehicle is being towed away, but that's where we saw most of the focus of the investigation, the evidence gathering happening around that vehicle. So right now they're still just trying to piece together what happened. They're still trying to locate this shooter as well. And right now they're just asking for folks, anyone who may have information, to contact them, to contact their homicide unit as well as Crime Stoppers. That's an option as well, where you can leave an anonymous tip. So it looks like the scene is starting to wind down, especially with the vehicle that they were focused on being towed away this morning. But again, that investigation is still ongoing as they work to figure out how a man was shot here in front of this daycare. This is a 24/7 daycare. We called them this morning. Their hours are about 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. officially, and they said they did not open this morning. Whether that's because of the investigation, we don't have that answer officially, but it's likely because of that. We haven't seen any parents dropping off kids here at all, so it's possible they relayed that information to their families. But again, we'll continue to follow this investigation closely and bring you the latest on WCNC Charlotte and right here on WCNC Plus. I'll send it back to you, Nick.
All right, Destiny Richards live there in East Charlotte. Destiny, thank you. And we are going to take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. It's cold outside. It's beyond cold outside. I let Carlene know. Chris Mulcahy is here in studio. Thank you for joining us. I told Carlene I did not run outside this morning. Mondays are usually my run day. I hit the treadmill instead.
There you go.
It was too cold.
I'm proud of you.
I got my thermals on today. It's cold, Chris. Am I over exaggerating?
No.
Okay.
Do you know how I'm going to back up that you're not over exaggerating? Because today is a superlative. It's the coldest day of the week, the season, and the year, y'all.
Wow.
That's right, 2025, the coldest we've been before this morning was January 22nd. We dropped down to 18 degrees, officially dropped down to 16 degrees for our morning low. So by far the coldest, and you can see other dates that were similar, 19. Actually, the last time that we were this cold during the month of December was around Christmas time of 2022. So we drop down to the teens most each and every year, but it's not always during December. So just letting you know, kind of putting that in perspective. Now today we will have a nice little rebound. Next graphic shows about 38 degrees for a high temperature, and we have the sunshine. That's what makes things so much better. Sunshine makes you feel at least 10 degrees warmer. So thank goodness, because 38 with cloud cover, if we had cloud cover, by the way, we wouldn't have dropped down this cold, but say if we picked up during the afternoon, we wouldn't even probably reach the freezing point. So thank you, sunshine, for trying to keep us a little bit warmer. 36, still feeling like 36 at 2 p.m. The big difference yesterday, the winds. Was anyone out and about yesterday during the afternoon?
Yeah, I popped out for like a second.
Yeah, to walk the dog.
Oh, yeah, we were in Kannapolis, walked around for a little bit, and it was rough.
Good for you.
We already, because we went to slot car racing. Have you ever been? So my father-in-law, we were supposed to do it back in October, and we went, and they were suddenly closed when we went. So the makeup date was yesterday, and those things zip.
Yeah.
So Kannapolis has a little slot car place that you can try out. So we went there, but walking around to and fro, we were dealing with gusts of 30 and wind chills well below freezing. So I lost. My wife's really good at it. I'm not very good at slot cars. I kept on spinning off the track.
Good for you, Kim.
Yeah.
You're great at a lot of things.
You are
But
great
not
at a
slot
lot of
cars.
things.
Not slot cars. I'm also great at coming up with different ways of saying the one thing. I also looked at a thesaurus. That's what it's used for. So instead of using the word cold, we decided to pull out our weather thesaurus. And here are some other ways to really describe this morning and today. Arctic, bitter, bone-chilling, cryogenic. I like that one. Frigid is a good way. Gelid, glacial, numbing, polar, and shivery. Now, if you were listening to that list, there's probably one that kind of stood out from the rest. Gelid. What the heck's gelid?
What is
Because you it's so cold outside, it's kind of like Jello. You become like gelatin.
I like that. Yeah, straight gelatin, y'all. That's good. That's good.
Okay.
So I literally pulled up the dictionary here.
Oh, I was wrong.
One as an icy, having a low subnormal Jello-like temperature. Now I added the middle part. But also two, you can describe a person as in frigid, lacking in friendliness or warmth of feeling. So that was maybe lack of feeling in the phalanges if you didn't have the gloves this morning. Tonight is not going to be nearly as cold. We're only dropping down lower to the mid-20s, as we can see here on this map. 21 degrees around Hickory, 19 around Morganton. One thing to note, it was still decently breezy on and off throughout the overnight. So we did not have as much frost on the windshield as what otherwise I think will happen tomorrow. Some of us probably had some last-minute frost form. When I went to work at around 2 o'clock to 2:30, there was no frost on my windshield. We started to pick it up closer to sunrise. Well, tomorrow, since the winds are pretty much lax most of the night, and we have a little bit extra moisture, I think that you will have a frostier windshield if you park in the open air. If you're under some sort of covering, you don't have to worry about it because you need a clear sky, a cold, pretty much a still wind, and temperatures 38 or below for frost, and we definitely have that by tomorrow. Now, going forward, we are going to see some warmer lows. You can expect 33 degrees come Wednesday, 38 come Thursday, and with more clouds to kick off your day on Friday, we're only falling down to 52 degrees. We're not even reaching that until tomorrow for our high temperature, and then we have another drop to freezing on Saturday overall, but it's certainly above normal. As far as any rain chances go, we only have one day that stands out from the rest, and that's Thursday heading into Thursday night. I think it's primarily, really, we could see a few showers during the afternoon, but it's Thursday evening and Thursday night that we start to see those showers push on through overall. Now, going forward for our long-range forecast for our 7-day, brought to us by the Jerry Hunt Super Center, you can see that this day stands out from all the rest. Technically, Brad had this as a weather alert day all day today, but once you're above the freezing point, it's not dangerously cold. It's just cold. We've done that before. That's not a big deal. But this morning, it's an anomaly. Still have a chance for some single-digit wind chills. Temperatures colder than they have been. Because before this morning, this season, the coldest we've been since February at least is 28 degrees. So, yeah, and we dropped down to 16. That's a huge difference. And we're not getting to that freezing point until around noon. Tomorrow, much better day, close to where we should be for the average of 55. Right around 60 degrees on Wednesday and Thursday. We will see a little bit of drop on to Saturday, but there's my pick of the week. And this is going to be a nice transition bringing Nick back in. 65 degrees for week 16. The Panthers had the chance to really put themselves firmly in the driver's seat. Now it comes down to week 16 versus the Bucks, and it's a little bit more difficult, my friend, but at least the weather's going to be decent. 65 with increasing clouds.
You said the Panthers. My natural reaction was to like put my hands on my head. That was sort of my reaction. The bulk of the second half.
Penalty at the end, man.
The penalty at the end, but penalties throughout the game. We were undisciplined. We did not play a sound game, and over the last 8 games, it's been win, loss, and so on and so forth. And we have not been consistent. So for me as a fan, as a realistic fan, I'm not a delusional fan. I can be
Sometimes
delusional.
you can be.
I can be delusional, but majority of the times, Carlene, I've been doing a lot better this year.
He's been a lot better.
I've been a lot better.
But if there was a meter of realistic and delusional, you're more on the delusional.
I'm in the middle.
Okay, delusional is a harsh word.
I think Eugene is more
Hyper
delusional.
optimistic.
Yeah.
Eugene is more, well, he presents on the show more delusional. And I'm more the realistic.
Well, he's also the ultimate hype man.
That is also true.
Like Eugene, I needed him this morning, and he's just like, it's cold outside, but it's going to be a beast. Still going to be a good day with sunshine.
Eugene also played football in Seattle and in Green Bay.
Yeah, this is nothing for him. This is nothing.
It's nothing. But I was going to say, if we don't make the playoffs, we don't deserve to make the playoffs.
No.
Because we have been too inconsistent. I won't be disappointed because look, we are on the winning side of things. We will fall short of the playoffs. Granted, we still have a chance to make the playoffs. I'm just saying if we don't. But we don't make things easy for ourselves this season, and that's just been frustrating to watch.
2 losses to the Saints, man. Like the Saints have not been good this year, where they literally bench people, traded Shaheed away. Yeah.
Kamara wasn't even playing.
Yeah, Kamara was. Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is they've had the opportunities that just that win, plain and simple, they could afford to lose one. But they're also playing Seattle in between here. That's the thing. I wish it was this was the game to win.
Yeah.
And it's not over.
No.
But also, my Patriots lost to Bills fan
That's
over
right.
here.
Oh, blew a lead too, just like we did.
Yeah, but they blew it. But there's also something that buys are great. But when your team has a momentum like my Patriots, sometimes it kind of puts a hitch in it. Bills had a great way to come back, but it's also for the Panthers. They had the big momentum because it was the Rams beforehand.
Yeah,
that
we
they
had
won.
the bye last week.
So if they had played the Saints the following week, that was such a momentum shift. They blew it. Plain and simple. A lot of teams blew it yesterday.
I think the Panthers and the Patriots are so young. I don't think our teams are mature enough to handle that. I mean, it really is the great separator. And I think Kellen Moore, back to the Panthers' Ace game, I think he outcoached Dave Canales. I think in the Bills game, I think Sean McDermott outcoached Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And that's what it was. It wasn't the talent. It wasn't the talent gap. It was just simply X's and O's, and they got outcoached. And that's hard to watch. It's just
And I'm just going to look over to Carlene, and this is no pressure on your team, but the Chiefs, for the first time, this is my favorite stat that I heard.
Yeah.
For the first time since 1998, the name Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Patrick Mahomes will not be in the playoffs.
Ooh.
Those 3 have been running it. So Josh Allen, for the first time, because the Ravens, even though they beat the struggling Bengals,
Yeah.
for the first time, this is your clearest path.
I know.
Soon to be father.
Oh yeah.
That's also why I think we lost. All of a sudden, the baby news dropped. When I saw that, I was like, great, we're losing. I saw that on Saturday. I was like, well, there goes the game.
Well, in Knox, your tight end just had a baby
Yes.
too. Yeah.
Well, what?
There's
You
a-
can't. No.
It's all full of new dads.
Yeah.
No,
I
I'm
know
happy
it's
for them,
a
by the
time.
way. I just want to say I'm happy for them, but for the Patriots, I was like, oh, man, get new dad energy.
But we've said this before. Megan Bragg, friend of the show, off
Yeah.
and on here.
Yeah.
We're both Bills girls. We're both Braggs. It's a thing. We've said it the last 2 years. That this has to be it. If it's this year, we're not going to get it. But we say that every year. So I always come in with my expectations to the ground, and I like to be pleasantly surprised when we do well. Because the Bills, as I say, you've heard me say it, Bills always bill. They're going to bill at the time they really don't need to bill.
You have kind of pulled the Broncos the last 2 games that you were losing sizably and then
Yeah.
you came back at the end.
Yeah.
And the Broncos keep on winning, but somehow they keep squeaking. So, this year I think is the most wild card of years that you have teams like the Panthers that squeak in. You have the Patriots that turn things around.
That's
You have the
exciting, though.
Bears that are number 2 in the NFC. But by the way, that's what the Ben Johnson effect is.
Oh, my
That's
goodness.
incredible.
I mean,
Yeah.
I have a Super Bowl prediction. Like who's
Okay.
I'm always wrong. I just want to put that
Have you
out
ever
there.
been half right?
No. no. Okay, the only time I was right, and I was delusional then. I said the Carolina Panthers were going to make the Super Bowl back in 2015. I know I sound like LeBron James, where LeBron James said stuff like, I saw Kobe play and I knew he was going to be 81 that night. No, I really believe the Carolina Panthers were going to make the Super Bowl in 2015. I digress from that thought, and I move on to this thought. I think it's going to be the Buffalo Bills, and it's going to be the LA Rams.
I think
Super Bowl.
that's okay. Mark it. I think that's probably
I
a
think-
really good shot.
I think I
It'd
don't.
be a good game.
Carlene, how do you feel about that?
I'd be fine with it. If the Bills even made it to that point, you'd see the people above crying,
You would
bawling,
cry?
even getting to that point.
We have to get you to the Super Bowl.
I would
If they make
love
it to the
go.
Super Bowl, we have to
Sharif, if
do
you're
it like
listening,
a.
I'd love to go.
We would have because we have a lot of Bills fans
We do.
here.
Mm-hmm.
So
There's
we would
a
have
ton of
to.
Bills fans here.
We have to do a Bills special.
And
Yeah.
it's amazing how many. No, it's true. I was in Kannapolis yesterday, and there was a Bills bar there.
Yeah.
Every
They
town
have
around here,
everywhere.
there's a Bills bar.
It's the #1 place that people from Buffalo move to.
Carolina.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, well,
The
that's why.
when
That
I was
makes
still up there,
sense.
they did a study. The paper up there. They said Charlotte's the #1 place where people leave from to go to
Wow.
Charlotte.
Wow.
Why?
Lake
I don't
effect
really
snow.
know. I get this. Yeah, they're tired of the snow. It has a major airport. That's what I imagine. That's what
And
it's
it's
for.
it's not so. It's not that far of a drive for people who like long road trips. Does that make sense?
That
I
makes
mean,
sense.
it's a far drive.
I mean, because the East Coast, you can hit a lot of different states when living
that's
in
the
North
thing.
Carolina.
Yeah,
So
you can hit a lot of good spots.
Because I've driven up to Philly and it's like about 8 hours,
Yeah.
and I know people that drive to New York City.
Yep.
And it's nothing. So driving to upstate New York,
It's another.
No,
it's another
trust
little
me,
bit. You
it
gotta go to
is.
the mountains.
it is it is a that is a
It's a
drive.
hike.
But I know there are a lot of people that
The Bills travel well. They
Yeah.
they would.
they'll drive
No.
down.
They'll drive.
I'm just saying the
They'll drive,
mind of a
fly.
Bills fan,
Oh,
Buffalo
yeah.
person, probably. I don't
yeah.
know.
There's a couple of teams, like even as a Patriots fan, I don't strongly dislike the Bills by any means because, like, the Bills, first off, if they didn't lose 4 in a row in the 90s, we probably wouldn't have buffalo wings as wildly popular. Because it is a
Yeah,
proven fact.
yeah.
Is the reason why it became such a popular snack for football games is because buffalo was so prevalent in the early 90s, and then after that, it took off.
Yeah.
So we can thank them for that. But it's also like the Bills and the Lions, like some of these teams, you want them to win.
You want
them to
Yeah.
get that one at least.
Yeah, but that's why I'm a Bills fan because I grew up in Charleston and I moved up there for my second
Yeah.
job, and you do fall in love with Bills Mafia because those people
Right.
that's they live, eat, and breathe.
They breathe
Yeah.
cold
Bills.
air Bills.
Right.
Yes.
So you you want it. I want it not even for me. I want it for them. Because I'll see grown men cry. I've seen whenever they
Yeah.
beat the playoff drought. I was up there for that.
Yeah.
The 18-year playoff drought. Bawling, crying, grown men, crying.
It's like the Bengals. You want.
Yeah.
It's my wife is a big Bengals fan, and do you know what? At this point, because as Patriots the last 5 years, it's like it's draft pick, baby. That's all you need. It's good draft picks.
And they still have a really good team. They just got hit with some bad luck over the last 3 years.
So, but no, Patriots are almost guaranteed in there. I think they're pretty close. The Bills are one of the best 6 seeds you're ever going to have.
Yeah.
And they could even still take the division. But back to the first thought, this Sunday is a playoff game.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's a lot on the line. I think about this game, and you guys, maybe I'm not giving you enough credit, but what comes to mind is the 2003 season for the Panthers, and Tampa Bay came to Charlotte, and this is the Tampa Bay with Keyshawn Johnson, Warren Sapp, Johnson.
They won the Super Bowl that year, did they? Or?
It was a year. It was a year after.
After,
so they
okay.
were coming. They were Super Bowl champs, and they came to Carolina. I think it was like week 15, week 16. We needed the win. We got a last-minute touchdown to Steve Smith. Won. Got to the playoffs. Eventually got to the Super Bowl that year. That's the type of energy around the game.
Okay.
So it was a lot to say. Granted, Tampa Bay did not win the Super Bowl last year. So I'm just saying, this is what comes to mind as a Panthers fan. Some great moments at Bank of America Stadium, formerly Ericsson Stadium. I like calling it Ericsson Stadium because we have some good memories in Ericsson
And
Stadium.
history. Remember the stats everyone's brought up. Losing record, Ohio State. J-Lo divorce.
We don't make it easy.
No.
We don't make it
No,
easy.
but
Why can't we just make it easy?
I know. This
The drama.
It was. I
As a
literally.
wrestling fan, you need the drama.
It was 17-10 like near the end of the game. I kind of tuned out because I was doing other things. And all of a sudden, it came out. I was like, "They lost. What happened?"
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's all right. Do you know what? Realistically,
I love New Orleans.
they're gonna do it.
I love New Orleans, the city, not the Saints.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
great city.
Great city.
Great
Great
city.
city.
Great. Terrible team. No, not really. Not a terrible team. I
No,
just
they-
don't root for y'all.
However, Sean Payton, I bet they miss him.
I like Kellen Moore.
Man, I like him, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Sean Payton, it only took him a few years to put his team together.
Yeah,
now
it
they're the
did.
number 1 seed.
It
so.
took, what, 3 years to put that
yeah,
team together?
It was only 3 years.
We have an ecstatic member in our newsroom who's loving this right now with the Broncos.
Oh, yeah, Spencer.
Spencer.
Shout out Spencer.
Collins, so-
Congrats.
Oh, man.
The Patriots made it easier for you. I guess the Bills did it. They beat us.
I mean, Bo Nix is still your quarterback, so I mean, don't celebrate too much. Chris Mulcahy, we will do this again, my friend, someday when I fill in on.
Are
the
you
morning
here
show.
tomorrow?
I'm not.
Okay,
I'm
so-
here tomorrow, but I won't be doing the
So
morning
probably
show.
less football talk tomorrow.
Less football
so
talk.
yeah, that's what we did. Because if you notice the ratio, I think it was probably like 75% NFL fantasy talk, not even fantasy football, just what could happen, and then a little bit of forecast. So.
This is what it's built off, and this is what the people came for.
This is
To
why.
hear us.
People are thinking about it.
They're thinking about it.
Oh, and by the way, as a good sport, congratulations to your winner yesterday.
Thank you.
I was rooting for both teams.
Oh, that's
Yeah?
I really was, because I knew I was coming in, and I knew I would see you.
okay.
both.
That's good.
So I was
So
rooting for
you
both.
weren't disappointed. That's good. That's
Yeah, I
way to
wasn't
go.
disappointed. I was like, oh, the team that I was rooting for won.
But we're all rooting for the Panthers this weekend. So
Come on.
go Cats!
Come on. Cardiac Cats, let's give it up. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. All right, welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Serderman. Carlene is here. Big win for Carlene's Bills. Not a great win for the Panthers, but we're still in it. We still have a chance. We had a recap after. Man, I know this was a painful recap for Carboni.
Oh, no.
Carboni and I have been talking about just Panther possibilities. So I know it was a tough recap for him, but he got the job done with our friend Julian Council. Let's take you there now in case you missed it.
The Panthers buried by a goalkeeper and the eliminated Saints on a last-minute field goal in the Superdome, blowing a 10-point lead and a chance to make next week's game against the Bucs at the Bank a win and in the playoffs scenario. Going to bring in Julian Council from Locked On Panthers. Julian, I guess this is right in line with the season, right? So now I guess we can predict they'll beat the Bucs, lose to Seattle, and then beat the Bucs in Tampa to win the division, right? What's going on with this team?
Well, Nick, that's been the case really since after that 3-game winning streak in the middle of the season where it's been win, loss, just yo-yo every single week. And this is the second time they're coming off of what we thought was the biggest win of the season, that they didn't lose to a lowly Saints team that absolutely was game. And we expected this to not be a blowout. We expected this to be one of those grind-out kind of games for Carolina that they weren't able to win. So, yeah, if the pattern continues, they'll win both the games against Tampa, and that's now the simplest way they can go to the playoffs. But yeah, they made it a lot harder than it needed to be by not taking care of business down in New Orleans today. But why would we ever think that these Carolina Panthers would want to do it the easy way, the hard way, or no way at all? That's what they've chosen heading to the final 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah, they beat the Rams, and then they're sitting at home, and they get propped up in a first place by 2 Bucs losses. Like, we know this team can't handle success at this point. I mean, that's like 12 games now in a row where they've been favored and they've lost. What do you point to figure out why they can't follow these great moments and build off of them?
I just think that it's the lack of maturity, and I'm not saying like individually like these guys are immature. I just think at where they are in this stage of the team build under Dave Canales, under Dan Morgan, we'll throw Brant Tillis in there as well, that this organization just isn't mature enough to go out on the field in these types of situations and win. And that's not to say that that can't be true starting next week. It's not to say that they can't still find a way to finally get there, and they still have an opportunity. Obviously, losing this game is going to be frustrating for everyone in that locker room and all the fans out there that wanted to believe and were celebrating there close to midnight after that Thursday Night Football result. But at this stage, they just have not been mature enough as an organization, as a team, to win these games because they not find a way to have bad mistakes like the penalties today. They don't capitalize potential turnovers like Roseboom not getting on that fumble. They don't hold up in pass protection when you need it. You may not have the right play calls at the right time. It's just overall the organization just is not mature enough at this point in time to win these kind of games and to take advantage and handle success. They've shown the ability to bounce back, which is great, but eventually you have to be able to handle success, and they have not been able to do that, as you've said, so far.
I'm going to galaxy brain this for a second. Do the Panthers just not want the Saints to draft a quarterback because they think going forward they can beat Tyler Shuck? How come they can't stop this guy?
Well, they're going to have a problem going forward if Tyler Shuck is going to continue to be the Saints quarterback, because he has shown in these 2 games, and especially today. And if you look at last week when everyone was watching, Dave Canales is on his couch celebrating, rooting hard for New Orleans to beat Tampa. We've seen the last 2 weeks just how good of a player Tyler Shuck can be, and it looks like the Saints do have their quarterback. So the Panthers were trying to prevent New Orleans from being able to take a quarterback in what appears to not be a great quarterback draft class. Congratulations. You've successfully done that by now being half of the wins that the Saints have this season, but you've also created your own problem where the division stands, and then you have made it pretty clear, at least to me, that Tyler Shuck is the guy moving forward at least for another season for New Orleans, and that he may be the guy there for Kellen Moore and that organization. So congrats, and also I'm sorry.
We talk a lot about offensive play calling here in these discussions. What about defensive play calling from Ejiro Evero on that game-tying drive where Brad Panovich and I were in here going, it's going to be a slant now to Chris Olave, and leading up to that, the coverage was just soft the whole way up the field.
Yeah, it's It's tough to watch because we understand they play a lot of zone. The Panthers play some of the most zone coverage among teams in the NFL. So it's not a surprise that they sat back in a zone. And we know they do not have a great pass rush, and I guess they don't want to take a number away from the coverage. But when you're seeing how it was set up and they're still allowing plenty of stuff underneath and even an intermediate on that drive, it doesn't make a ton of sense. But that's just the style of defense that Ejiro Evero runs, and that Dave Canales continuously has sat there and defended it. He has said he does not dislike the scheme. They just need to execute better, apparently, and they did not execute on that drive. And the fact that they allow New Orleans, when they're starting to drive at the 8-yard line, then to go down and to get in field goal position to win the game at the end. Your defense, when you're up 17-7, has to be able to close out the game. Yes, offensively they had moments where they could have closed it out as well, but defensively you can't allow, even on the road against a rookie quarterback in Tyler Shuck, who played a hell of a game, and his owner, you can't allow what happened today to happen. But it's not necessarily something we haven't seen before, because it was similar to what happened even in week 10 when they last played, and the other moments that they have had where they've allowed teams to be able to come back because they've been able to pick apart zone coverage. So they got to figure out moving forward how they're going to be able to combat that when they face against Seattle and Tampa over the next 3 weeks.
Dave Canales and this coaching staff had 2 weeks to prep for that rookie quarterback for a 3-win team in a crucial game. Is this just another growing pain of a young head coach and staff, or is this a red flag going forward?
You hope that it's the former, that it's just going to be another growing pain as they learn to win. Because you look at it, there's a lot of guys in that locker room that haven't been in that position here in Carolina. We know guys like A'Shawn Robinson have been on playoff teams. Austin Corey's been on a Super Bowl team before. You look at Bobby Brown III, he was on the Rams last year. So there are guys who have won at previous stops. Just not really many dudes in this locker room that have won in Carolina. J.J. Jansen, he's won plenty in Carolina. Yeah. Taylor Moton was on the last time they went to the playoffs, was on that team. It was not really a contributor as a rookie, but he was on the team. So I think it's not just Dave, but I think it's everyone involved just really learning what it takes to be able to get over the top and reach the mountaintop as far as the NFC South and get back to the playoffs. And like he's had some learning curves there this year and even last year as well. And it is alarming, though, that it feels like the same things that kind of got you beat back in week 10, the inability, especially in the second half, to run the ball and not really trying too many things down the field. I thought Bryce Young was certainly the bright spot offensively. I thought he played a good game. His numbers are never really eye-popping, but he took care of the football, had that tremendous throw to Jalen Coker. His legs were key in this game for Carolina as well. I think you got to put more trust in your quarterback, and it is concerning that for the second time coming off a big win and you have an extra week to prepare, that this is what your team looked like. Now, they were up by 10 points, but the fact that your team was not able to take care of an opponent that they, at least on paper, are better than and should have beaten, that is a little bit of the red flag there as far as that goes. But I think for most part, it's still a learning curve for Dave, with maybe a tiny bit of red flags there as far as just not having the team prepared to win this game today.
All right, Carolina's not a terribly undisciplined team, Julian, but 11 penalties, 103 yards. Is that just a product of like the opponent, the place? How does that happen in such a big game? And obviously the big one with Lathan Ransom. What are your thoughts on that penalty to set up the game winner?
Yeah, I am curious to know just what the stats are for this officiating crew, because it wasn't just Carolina. I think New Orleans had 9 penalties as well.
Watch,
yeah, so overall, typically, and maybe this is something I asked Dave on Monday, but typically, they are aware that, hey, this officiating crew is going to throw more flags than the other officiating crews that we have played against this year. That's typically something that the coaches will tell their teams. So I'm curious if that was the case with this crew, because there were a lot of penalties, and it was the clunkiest game that we have watched all season long in that regard. Really, the one that I really did not like to see was what would happen early on in the game with Ike Ekwonu, where Cam Jordan, he hits Bryce Young. Maybe there should have been a flag there. Even if there was a flag, Ike can't come in then and hit Cam Jordan like he did, push him, and then have that unnecessary roughness. Because at the worst, or at best, you just wipe out that penalty that you would have gotten had they thrown the penalty there and protected Bryce. But instead, you kill the drive, and you kill the momentum that you had already up 7-0, to where they could have scored. They were driving down down the field. Like, that was the beginning of a lot of just boneheaded decisions. And yeah, it's tough for defenders like with Lathan Ransom in that situation when a quarterback, I mean, they caught Carolina off guard with that play call, but when he's sliding down, you're obviously not trying to hit him high, and they slide late. It puts the defenders in an impossible situation. So, like, I feel for the guy, but you have to not put yourself in that situation when that happens. So yeah, it's a tough call, but that's going to be something that gets called every single time. And I know the drive prior, Panther fans are wondering why wasn't it not called for Bryce Young. I don't know, but it happened that spot, and it was the worst possible time. But 11 penalties for 103 yards, like, that's going to get you beat pretty much every single time, like it did today.
Carolina, after 3.5 days, hands the keys to the division back to Tampa. Maybe they're buoyed by watching Carolina lose to the Saints, like Carolina was for 2 weeks watching Tampa lose. Is that going to make a difference for the Bucs? We're kind of backsliding right now. What are your initial thoughts on this game at Bank of America Stadium in Week 16?
I think this result has no bearing on just how ticked off of a team Tampa was going to be anyways coming to Carolina. Maybe I don't think it's really going to allow them to even take a deep breath and feel like, oh yeah, everything is fine now. They've still lost, 6 out of their last 8 games. They have been in free fall mode here in the second half of the season. So I don't think this really clears anything up for them other than, okay, they're back in position, but they have to figure out whatever's been going on with them. For Carolina, they've shown the ability to bounce back. I heard Derek Brown in the locker room say that they wouldn't want it to be easy. It's like, okay, well, it would have been nice to have known that going into the game, that you guys didn't want it the easy way. But yeah, why would it be easy for this team? Obviously, yes, guys, he wanted to win the game today. He did not want to lose, but it's not going to be easy for this team, clearly. So I'm expecting another kind of grind out kind of game. And if Carolina can take care of the ball, find a way to run the football as well, they can come out on top. But then it's going to come down to, after that, can you handle success again, which they have shown time and time again, at least this year and at this point in time, that they cannot do that. Not that they will not, but right now they cannot do it. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, should be, I still hope, like, a ruckus environment for Panther fans. Like, your team's still tied for first place in the division in Week 16. They have not been good for years. So I really hope people, if you have the means and the ability to go out to the game next Sunday, go out, be loud, cheer on the team, even if you are upset about the result today, because it should still be a really good game, a really good environment next Sunday, as it's basically do or die for both Tampa and Carolina.
All right, Julian Council from the Locked On Panthers podcast, here and there all week. We will see you at the bank this Sunday, where it's not for all the marbles, but certainly some of them. Thanks, Julian.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. We want to get to some breaking news from overnight. Filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, were found dead in their L.A. home Sunday. That's according to a source close to the Reiner family. Now, the source said the couple appeared to have died from stab wounds. L.A. police officials said Sunday they responded to a report of 2 deceased at Reiner's Brentwood home, but did not identify them. Police said a, quote, death investigation is underway. Now, paramedics were called to Reiner's home on the west side of L.A. around 3:30 p.m. A few minutes later, police officers were dispatched. A deputy police chief, Alan Hamilton, told reporters that the investigation will continue through the night, and he did not confirm the identities of the victims, saying the city coroner's office will release that information later. Again, a source close to NBC News confirming it was Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner. And again, tributes continue to pour in for Rob Reiner, filmmaker, actor. You may know him from films like The Princess Bride, When Harry Met Sally, A Few Good Men. Carlene and I were talking about, he was in a few episodes of The Bear, the Hulu hit show, also in New Girl. So he, everywhere.
Guy that just pops up
Everywhere. It's a sad day for a lot of, a shocking day for a lot of fans, a lot of their friends in Hollywood, a lot of people that maybe have met him or worked with him. Probably.
The resume is long. So
Yeah, so many people. And I mentioned shows all in the family. I mean, classic show. It didn't air in my lifetime, but I remember watching the reruns. So Rob Reiner, his wife Michelle Singer Reiner, found dead in their Brentwood home. We'll have more on this in the investigation coming up shortly. We want to get to another story that we have been following out of Brown University, and also in Sydney, Australia. So 2 mass shootings, a half a world apart, dominating the headlines this morning, and reigniting the issue of gun violence here at home. Now, Rhode Island officials said overnight they were releasing a person of interest in the shooting at Brown University, with evidence now pointing in a different direction. Now, President Trump spoke about the deadly shootings at Brown and at the Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia. Investigators designating that one a terrorist attack designed to target Jewish people happened there, again, in Australia. Again, 2 just tragic stories over the weekend. Brown University in Rhode Island, also in Sydney, Australia, as they celebrate the first night of Hanukkah. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
After a weekend of devastating gun violence from the campus of Brown University in Rhode Island, where 2 people were killed, 9 injured in a classroom.
Rescue 1 just transported 1 victim.
To the shores of Sydney, Australia, with at least 15 people killed, close to 30 in the hospital, in what investigators call an anti-Semitic attack. President Trump weighing in.
To the 9 injured, get well fast, and to the families of those 2 that are no longer with us, I pay my deepest regards and respects from the United States of America.
That as investigators in Rhode Island said overnight they were releasing a person of interest in the Brown shooting.
There was some degree of evidence that pointed to this individual, but that evidence needed to be corroborated and confirmed. That evidence now points in a different direction.
Security video shows a person believed to be the shooter with no clear image of their face. As investigators raced to track down the gunman, the mayor of Providence looking to ease the community's fears.
We have not received any credible or specific threats to the Providence community.
While in Australia, police have identified 2 suspects, a father and son, accused of terrorism targeting Jewish people who were celebrating the first day of Hanukkah at Bondi Beach, one of Australia's most popular tourist sites.
What was the most shocking was how long the gunfire lasted.
The 50-year-old suspect fatally shot at the scene, his 24-year-old son in custody and hospitalized with critical injuries. A bystander being hailed a hero for disarming one of the gunmen. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Yeah, again, a very tragic weekend with those two shootings. All right, so we did get updates from Brown University officials there in Rhode Island. Again, a manhunt underway after 2 people were killed and 9 others wounded in a mass shooting at Brown University's campus in Providence, Rhode Island on Saturday. Let's take you now to that press conference in case you missed it.
With the process. We'll continue to have our state police really on alert for everyone out there so that there's a sense of calmness in the state. And I would just repeat what I said last night, the fact that the state of Rhode Island is in shock, but they're really responding as communities that we all love, and that the communities that we are proud of, the fact that we live in a state that everybody comes together. Again, my thoughts are still centered on those individuals that have lost their lives, and I'm praying that the families will find the strength to be able to deal with this in a way that their lives are not disrupted as much as they probably will be. So we'll keep our state police out there. We'll continue to work with the City of Providence and, of course, Brown University to make sure that everything is being done possible so people feel as though that we're responding in a way to help those who've been impacted by this event. And we'll continue to stand with you as time goes on.
Thank you, Governor. Now we'll hear from Colonel Oscar Perez, Providence Police.
Thank you, Mayor, and good morning. I'm going to be clear. I'm going to be very limited with what I can share with you all this morning. Again, my condolences and thoughts and prayers with the families that were impacted by these actions. So, as the Mayor stated, we have detained someone of interest, but I respect and to protect the integrity of the investigation, I would only be limited in my details. The next process for us is what we do best, and our detectives is to coordinate with the prosecutors, to collect evidence, to conduct interviews, and then from there, we'll be able to, when it's appropriate and accurate, to share more details with you all. But I'm pleased to say that, as the Mayor stated, the collaboration between our federal partners, our different municipalities in the state, is all hands on deck. And, you know, when there's incidents in the city that shock the conscience, we know for a fact that we just step up. And the federal agents, our federal partners, I want to thank them for their assistance, but as well, every single municipality, the state police, and every other chief in the state. We came together as a small state. It impacted a lot of us, the incident that occurred. And so, again, I'm just happy to share with you that we're in the process now of coordinating with prosecution, conducting interviews, and being able to collect evidence so that we can protect the integrity of the investigation and that we can hold the individuals accountable for their actions. So.
Next, we'll hear from Ted Dox from the FBI, who was integral throughout the process and especially early this morning.
No, hopefully for the families, the victims, this community, having these leaders and law enforcement up here and really a community as a whole came together within 24 hours. We talked about a timeline. Within 24 hours, we were able to have a subject of interest that's in custody. I will say that we could not do that without working seamlessly with our partners here. I tell you, not only the Rhode Island State Police, the Colonel has been great, HSI, DEA, also Rhode Island State Police as well. I mean, I tell you, just working with those partners, coming together in a way in which we should, literally not sleeping, working through the night to make sure that we can bring about some type of ease and calm to the community here. And so I just want to thank all the partners here, the leaders as well, because I tell you, they did not sleep either, and we were on the horn definitely gleefully when we got a person of interest there. So that's what your FBI does. I tell you, I want to give a personal thanks to not only the investigators, also the intel, the professional support that have been working around the clock, headquarters. We have folks that are actually coming in right now to help work with the victims. But I tell you, that's what your FBI does, and that's what we do with our partners and leaders within the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. We'll take questions.
Was the person taken into custody last night or this morning?
He was detained earlier this morning.
You can tell us where and how it kind of went down.
I can't confirm that for you right now. Again, just to protect the integrity of this investigation, we're talking to the speaking with the Attorney General's office, and we'll be able to provide that at a later date.
Outside of Providence?
Again, I can't confirm that for you right now. Again, it was just still part of the investigation. We're collecting evidence, and we'll continue to do so. But when appropriate and accurate, we'll be able to share that with you.
Can we ask President Paxton, can you step to the microphone for us? What would you want to say to the Brown community, the Brown families, the Brown alumni, folks who are watching right now?
Well, everybody is reeling, and we have a lot of recovery ahead of us. So my main goal in the coming days and weeks and months, it will take a long time, is to bring people back together and help them feel safe and secure on campus.
And the resources that you have on campus today, President?
We have, we've pulled out all the stops. We have, religious life, student services, everybody we can to be there to support our community. And I do want to say our DPS has been great, but the law enforcement, the Providence Emergency Management Service team, people from the Nonviolence Institute have been on call. They've been amazing. So just incredible support from the community.
Madam President, can we confirm now that the shooting happened inside a final exam review for the principles of economics class?
That's my understanding, yes.
Is the person of interest affiliated with Brown anyway? Are they students, staff?
Again, I won't be able to confirm that for you right now, but again, we have somebody and we have detained them, and we'll conduct our investigation. Our detectives will do, and I'm very confident on what they're going to provide for us.
Are you looking for anybody else?
Not at this point, but again, we're still conducting our own investigations.
Can you just sort of walk us through, I recognize you're not going to be able to say very much, but between the 11 o'clock press conference last night and you didn't have somebody, what happened in the hour or however long it took? Was there a breakthrough? Can you give us anything on sort of how you got to where?
So as a special agent from the FBI stated, it's all collaboration, it's cooperation, it's all hands on deck. We're picking up on any leads, any tips that come our way, and that's what we do. That's what this department has done for years. And so when some incidents or horrific incidents like this occur, we step up, and we ended up with the results of detaining someone of interest. And again, at a later day when we update you, we'll be able to provide you with the rest of the details, how we came about to stop that.
Did the video help at all?
Again, there's all evidence that we collect, including the video and including all the items that we have, and again, tips. But I also like to commend the individuals and the citizens of this state. They come forward and provide, and law enforcement officers as well. There's a passion. It's what we do. We're fathers, and we really care. And so it doesn't matter if you're an officer in one point of the state or another. We all work together, and so that's what it comes about. So.
Did more tips come in after you released the video last night? How did that play into the investigation?
Correct. Yes, all tips that we received, detectives followed up on a lot of them, and again, all the resources, like the federal partners that we have, also followed up on some of the tips. There's 400 plus of police officers. A lot of them came to work. We didn't even know that they were working, and so it all came down to collaboration, cooperation, and that's why we're at now. So.
Can you explain to us what police are doing right now? They've got streets still blocked off. Can you explain to us what?
I'm sorry, Molly. Say that again.
Can you explain to us what police are still doing? They're blocking off streets right now. Can you kind of explain? Should people stay clear of that area?
Yeah. Again, we're still in the process of collecting evidence, and so we're putting it all together. Policing is very it's a difficult job. We have to make sure that we protect due process and the integrity of the investigation. So we may collect other evidence, and that's why we're still out there. We haven't, but we're confident enough that we are able to say that we detained somebody of interest. So.
Can you share if there's any updates about what's going to be happening with final exams or final projects beyond what you already shared?
Yeah, I mentioned last night that we had canceled the finals today. There were 4 finals. We're in the process of putting together some announcements and updates with guidance for the coming week.
Chief, there's a question.
Yes.
Hi, Chief. Should students still expect to see police and other law enforcement officers walking through campus, knocking on doors, or?
So absolutely, the command staff and obviously the patrol division, we spoke about this. So we have actually enhanced the presence in the staffing for the day, just to make sure that people see us. And so yes, we will be out there, and so just like we do, on the weekends, especially like last night was extremely busy. We have several events going on in the city. We have 200,000 population of the city, but on the weekends it picks up. And so just today will be the same, especially the snow coming down. So we'll have it enhanced, but up here we'll definitely have a presence.
Let me just add to that a little bit. There are still a couple streets closed here proximate to campus as the investigation continues and evidence is collected and such. Throughout the city of Providence, proactively, individuals will see an enhanced police presence, not because there is particular cause for concern or evidence being gathered in another corner or another, but we know that it is a Sunday in the holiday season, and we want folks to feel safer knowing that there are people in a position of authority throughout the city today. We're receiving assistance from the state police to that effect, and so we don't want that to be alarming. We want that to be reassuring to our residents, to our visitors, and those who might be in Providence today. Right immediate to where the incident occurred yesterday, there might still be an enhanced police presence because the investigation is ongoing. But if you see police elsewhere in the city of Providence, please know that we are doing that in a proactive manner for the comfort and reassurance of our community, not because there was evidence there or any cause for concern.
All right, so that was an update recently from Brown officials. That's the mayor of Rhode Island there, giving updates on that shooting at Brown University. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. Filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle Singer Reiner were found dead inside their Los Angeles home on Sunday, according to a source close to the Reiner family. A source said that the couple appeared to have died from stab wounds, and we are continuing to follow up on this story. Again, a tragic story here. Rob Reiner, known for films like A Few Good Men and others. Let's take it now to Mary Bell Gonzalez with CNN with more.
Questions about what happened behind that gate. Police, as of right now, have not identified a suspect. The family of Hollywood director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle announced their deaths Sunday. Law enforcement sources say the couple were found dead in their home in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles. The Los Angeles Police Deputy Chief said the Homicide Division is handling the investigation, but would not say if a crime had been committed.
Our detectives will be responding along with our Forensic Science Division and our Technical Investigation Division investigators to conduct a full crime scene investigation and determine the appropriateness of the investigation moving forward.
Rob Reiner is considered one of the best American filmmakers of all time. His directing credits included classics from several genres, including The Princess Bride, Stand By Me, A Few Good Men, and When Harry Met Sally. It was on that film set that he met and fell in love with his wife, Michelle. Before turning to directing, Reiner was an actor, most notably known for his role as Archie Bunker's son-in-law on the TV show All in the Family.
I mean, with or without protesters, this country would still have the same problems.
What problems?
Well, it's the war, the racial problem, the economic problem, the pollution problem.
Oh, come on, if you want to nitpick.
The role landed him 2 Emmy Awards.
I've often said, no matter what happens to me, I'll always be, I could win the Nobel Prize, they'll say, Meathead wins Nobel.
Now, the Reiners had been married for over 3 decades and had 3 children. Reporting in Brentwood, I'm Maribel Gonzalez.
All right, so that was Maribel Gonzalez with the latest on Rob Reiner and his wife, their death investigation surrounding that. Again, as more information comes in, we'll update you here on Live Impact News, WCNC Plus, and on our digital platforms. Another tragic story that we are following is the death investigation of Frazier Baker. She was reported missing and then found dead on Thursday. Police arrested Friday Lorenza T. Inman Jr. He's making his first appearance this morning. Jesse Pierre is in court now. And looking at her updates, she says Frazier Baker's parents, brother, aunt, best friend are there. And just last night, friends, family, extended family, community members held a balloon release to honor the life of Frazier. We got a chance to talk to those closest to Frazier before that balloon release. Let's take a listen in.
We're out here just, celebrating. Well, not necessarily celebrating, but just here to send off my friend. The moment is just so surreal right now. Frazier Baker was a good friend of ours, and we're just here to just come together with some loved ones, honor her name, share some good moments and experiences with her, and just send her off, letting her know that your name is going to forever just ring bells. She was a good person, loving mother, great friend, great sister. She was just always there. She was really, really strong.
She was full of life.
Yeah, very vibrant.
Yes, and bubbly. Great personality. Everybody loves her. Anybody she's around, they're gonna love her. She was full of life. She loved celebrating.
She loved to celebrate.
We had to honor her name and make sure her name lived forever and let people know what type of person she really was. Despite all the people's opinions and everything, she was
that girl. She was that girl. She was that girl.
She was that girl.
Yeah. When she walked in the room, everybody asked about Frey.
And we want everybody, the world, to know that.
Yeah. For sure.
Why are we doing this here? What's the significance of this?
It's just
it's where we started looking for her.
Right. This is where it all started.
What do you hope people that attend tonight? What do you hope people take away from tonight?
The type of person she was.
And if you see something, say something.
And if you know something, yeah.
And if you're going through a domestic violence situation,
get
out of it now, because you never know. Like, he can hit you the wrong way.
And that's it.
That's it. You never know. The first time it happened, let him go.
Let him go. And if you need help getting out, ask for help. You're not alone.
Say something.
Say something.
Because you are not alone. Yep.
If Frey was here right now and she saw all this, what do you think she would say?
She probably would giggle and say we tripping.
Yeah.
Like, she would definitely giggle like, girl.
But everybody would love her. She's a friendly person. She speaks to everybody. She's a lovable person. She loves the hugs. I'm gonna miss them hugs.
Yep.
She gave the best hugs.
When you guys found out the news, what went through your mind?
Well, when I got the call, if I spoke to her, it was just something just didn't sit right in my soul. So I'm headed to work, and going to work, I'm like, nah, let me leave. So just not hearing from her that morning, or her calling me during my shift, and I'm like, girl, you know I'm at work. Something just didn't sit right, and I just knew. Just not hearing from her for 2 days. So.
And just why is this event just what do you what to you personally, why is this event just so important to you?
The balloon release and the candlelight?
Yeah.
Why is it important to me? Well, I actually think it's important because I wasn't expecting for just what happened, the outcome. And just to have so much help, I just feel like why not? Why not get everybody here? Why not have everybody come out tonight and just honor her name? Say her name. Get everyone out and just come together. That's really what it's about. Celebrating her. And it's really hard to do this like in this way. This don't feel real to be celebrating her like this.
And hopefully this will save another life. Hopefully this will save somebody else who's in trouble and don't feel like they can reach out, and let them know that they can reach out. And there's help out there. There are people who love them, people who want to help them, and that they're not going through whatever struggle they're going through alone.
For sure.
That's all the questions I have. Is there anything else I didn't ask that you'd like to touch on?
Well, one thing I really would like to touch on is the city of Charlotte needs to wake up, band together, and start loving one another. Time out with the violence. Time out with the harming one another. It's time for a change.
It is.
And this is why we're out here. We're out here calling for a change and honor the person. Domestic violence and any other violence that goes on through our city.
All right, so that was that interview with friends, those closest to Frazier Baker. Again, a suspect who was arrested on Friday is making his first court appearance this morning. Jesse Pierre is tracking that story, and we'll have more for us later. All right, let's take a quick break here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. All right, so fallout continues as bars, businesses, and major grocery chains drop Sycamore Brewing products after its co-owner, now former co-owner, was arrested on rape charges. Justin Tawes Brigham, 44 years old, was arrested Thursday and faces 3 felony charges: statutory rape of a child under 15, first-degree burglary, and indecent liberties with a child, according to court records reviewed by WCNC Charlotte. So we heard from the Stanley County Sheriff's Office on Friday about this investigation. Let's take a listen in to what they had to say in case you missed it.
Do you want to give a brief overview of the case to start? Just a brief overview. This incident occurred on December the 10th in the evening hours. Deputies responded to a residence where an adult male was found inside of a home in a juvenile's room. Later, deputies found the gentleman away from the home and was taken into custody for questioning and was later charged. The relationship between the suspect and the minor, how did they meet? What can you share about that? It's our understanding it's a social media platform that's common. And how important is it for parents to kind of be aware of, dangers of social media? This should speak volumes. My kids are grown and gone, but for my grandkids at this point, yes, this should be a huge eye-opening experience. Parents need to pay attention to their kids.
That suspect was located in a car, undressed. What was his reaction when you folks came up on him, and how far away was the car from the actual crime scene?
I'm not sure how far away it was. My understanding, he was undressed. But now, how far, I'm not sure.
His general reaction to being caught?
I would imagine it was like anybody else. That's found in that kind of state. But nobody's told me what his reaction was. I know okay. Next. Small town, how troubling is this to happen in your jurisdiction, and really anywhere, but just how troubling is this incident for you guys to be investigating? Where does this? You never expect it to happen to rural county, Stanley County. You don't expect it. I hate to say it's more common in bigger cities, but I mean it is just because of volumes of people. But no, it's a horrific crime for sure. And as part of your investigation, are you trying to determine if this was a one-off incident or if this potentially could expand to other? Yes, we'll look at all avenues and aspects of it.
So the two met online. Was it an arranged meeting that we're aware of at this point? Was he supposed to be there? Or was this kind of a surprise visit?
That I'm not sure. That's still being investigated. They're looking into that.
There's going to be a lot of parents who, for lack of a better term, are freaking out about something like this because social media is so prevalent in our society. What kind of tips can you give to parents to avoid situations where their young juvenile daughters could be basically victimized in a situation like this?
Well, you're asking an old man something he doesn't know much about when it comes to these devices. Parents that are familiar with technology and these social media platforms, pay attention to what your kids are looking at. I understand there's different ways of blocking or monitoring. There again, I'm not sure, but parents need to pay attention to what their kids are looking at. And this is very clearly a minor. Correct.
13? She's 13.
She's a minor. She's a juvenile. Yes. And are you aware if he knew she was a minor? It's my understanding he was fully aware.
Could there be additional charges?
Yes, there will be further charges. We anticipate more charges, yes.
How serious are the crimes in this case? People may not know jail time, anything like that. These are very serious.
These are very serious, very serious. He could go to prison for a long time.
You know, Sycamore is a well-known brand. This story has had, it's very big right now. It's a huge story because it involves Sycamore. Is there any inclination from your point that the business or his family members were aware or involved in any way?
So far, the investigation, nothing. The wife, the business, nothing has come into play.
Take us back to that 911 call that originally instigated all this. Is that call going to be available? And if so, or if not, can you tell us the context of the call? What was said, the urgency of it?
Now, as far as when it'll be available, that I can't tell you. As far as what was said, I'm not even aware of yet of exactly what was said in the call. I've not been brought up to speed that much yet.
Did the call come from the parents, do you know?
I have no.
Came from the residents.
Yeah.
How is everyone doing? How is the minor doing? How are the family members doing?
As well as could be expected under the circumstances.
And were there any injuries that you can share at this point?
Not that I've been told.
Okay.
No.
Do we know how long the suspect was on the scene at the girl's bedroom?
I do not.
And do you know if they've had a lengthy relation? I don't want to say relation. A lengthy, have they known each other for a long time? Have they been communicating for a long time?
That's still under 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay. So I didn't know that. I knew they were still analyzing.
Sure.
There was minor injury.
There was minor injuries. Okay.
Minor injuries to suspect?
Under investigation.
Was there any influence or drugs or anything?
Not that I'm aware of, no. Nothing.
This caught a lot of people by surprise just because of the charges and, you know, the distance between Charlotte and Stanley County. When you look at just the distance and the age gap and the evidence and what you know about the case, what does that tell you about potentially maybe there needing to be more investigation into like whether this is the first time?
Well, as far as a distance, the western part of Stanley County has become just a bedroom community for Charlotte. The western end of our county is exploding. But as far as the last part of your question, I don't quite understand.
You know, it's a man is accused of breaking into or entering a home without permission in the middle of the night, and he's accused of committing heinous acts.
Right.
Some people have said, you know, that doesn't seem like something someone randomly just decides to do on a whim.
Right.
Is that something you're looking into to determine whether this is a pattern of behavior?
We are, yes.
No, a lot of deputies coming forward.
Oh, yeah, we talked about additional victims. Yeah, through the investigation.
Yeah, but we're also encouraging anybody.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If there are any other victims, we definitely encourage them to come forward.
No, a lot of deputies, police officers, magistrates, they have kids of their own and they're trying to prosecute this. How tough is it to do the investigation knowing that you may have a son or daughter about that age, knowing that they could easily have been affected as well? I mean, it's got to take a lot of energy to kind of drive past that.
It does. You have to set aside your personal feelings. Years ago when I was a detective, you had to set aside personal feelings and just do your job. It's hard.
Sorry, anything else?
They knew each other for 2 weeks, met it online.
Yep.
So was this the first time he's made the trip that we know of to Stanley County?
Don't know.
We don't know.
Don't know. That's the problem. We don't know.
Do you know what time of the morning he was seen in the
in the room?
I don't know.
So I'm comfortable saying, it appears from the rough timeline that we have together, he was not in the home for a very long period of time. It's our understanding he was not there for hours and hours. I know you guys had some questions about advice to parents, advice to the community involving children, electronic devices, social media platforms. I do have Sergeant Vic Dunn here to be able to kind of address some of that with you, because that's more her specialty. If you guys would like that, if not, then
Sure. Yeah.
But I did at least want to make that available.
Yeah, that'd be great. Do you mind stepping up to the podium?
Come on, Carson. She's the expert.
Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, I wouldn't be a good sheriff if I didn't hire people smarter than me.
Do you mind saying and spelling your name and giving your title?
Yes, Sergeant Carson Vic Dunn, Stanley County Sheriff's Office. Yeah, sorry.
Whoop.
Sergeant Carson Vic Dunn, Carson Karcin, Vic Dunn VICK-DUNN.
What should parents know, just in general, about the dangers of social media, especially as they're seeing this case in the news?
So we always recommend the common sense approach. We recommend parents opening communication with the kids so that the kids feel comfortable if something is going on, that they want to feel comfortable talking to mom and dad about. Also, we recommend parents talking to kids about getting access to their phones. The parents not being locked out of the children's phones. Even sometimes that might look like a child having a time in which their phones get plugged up in a common area of a house. Maybe once a week talking about what other children that they've heard, like things that happen at school, and what would we do as a family if that happened in our home. So really just a common sense, open line of communication. We always encourage that with parents and kids.
Great job. Thank you.
She's the smart one.
Anything else we didn't say that you think is relevant to the story?
I think right now, since it's still ongoing, I think that's about all we can do right now.
And is he cooperating with law enforcement speaking?
That'd be a question.
We don't want to lose that right now. Still an investigation.
Yeah.
I guess
it is his right not to cooperate.
Yeah. Are you happy with, how the courts have played it? The $10 million secured bond is pretty high. Are you happy with
Absolutely.
how this is being handled?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, great job.
So one more thing that I am comfortable disclosing. He obviously, and I'm sure you guys have done enough research on he and his family to know that he does have a residence in Bermuda. So obviously, I would assume that because of the severity of the crime and him having a residence in another country, I think these all play into, along with the guidelines from Arenas law, I think all of these things play into that bond amount, just because of the ability to leave the country.
Can you get a search warrant in Bermuda? Is that something you're...
I mean, we have no, every nexus that we have is local. Okay. As far as here in Charlotte. Yeah. We have developed no nexus that would have anything to do with Bermuda. Okay. Obviously, if it were to go there, we could leverage federal partners to accommodate those things, but I think that is, I don't think that's even
crossed your mind at this point, yeah?
Not at this point, because there's been virtually zero, or there has been zero nexus between here and there.
Yeah, and I think off record, it seems like his wife is the nexus in Bermuda. But again, she's a victim also, so we don't want to lose too much of that. So that's why the bond is not legally so.
I mean, I'm assuming.
Definitely likely.
I think all of these things combined, the new, because of the class felony, how it falls under Arenas law and some of the new bond changes, as well as severity of the crime, age of the victim, his ability to be a flight risk, both because of assets and having a home in another country. I mean, I just, in my personal opinion, all of these things would have played a factor to a judge.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right, so that was a press conference from Friday with the Stanley County Sheriff's Office on that investigation involving Sycamore Brewing's former co-owner. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. We want to continue to follow a story here that was breaking overnight, and we continue to get developments. First, let me just give you some of this stuff that we got from NBC News, and that is filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Reiner, found dead in their Los Angeles home on Sunday. That's according to a source familiar and close to the Reiner family. Now, that source said the couple appeared to have had stab wounds. All right, so developing into our newsroom, according to TMZ News, they have this up now. The son of Rob Reiner, Michelle Reiner, is in custody, has been arrested. He's been held on a $4 million bail. That's according to, again, TMZ. Again, the headline reads, Rob Reiner and wife Michelle, son Nick, arrested in connection with parents' murder. Again, he, according to TMZ, is being held on a $4 million bond. The 32-year-old is in custody of the Los Angeles Police Department as of Monday morning, according to online records. He was booked at the LAPD jail. Again, that is reporting from TMZ. As TMZ reported, the couple was found by one of their daughters Sunday with their throats slit inside their LA home. Again, TMZ is reporting this. I just want to emphasize. Friends and collaborators and colleagues, Billy Crystal, Larry David, were seen leaving the couple's home Sunday evening looking very distraught. And there has been an outpouring of tributes to come in following this tragedy from former President Barack Obama, Stephen King, Ben Stiller, among others. Rob Reiner was 78. His wife, Michelle, was 68. Again, this is a developing story and reporting from TMZ. Rob Reiner and Michelle Reiner's son, Nick, arrested in connection with his parents' murder. All right, so we are continuing to track that story. Again, a big story overnight. Let's switch gears. We want to come back here at home, and we want to get to the tenure of our new police chief here in Charlotte. CMPD has a new police chief, has had a new police chief for some weeks now. Estella Patterson, who was initially here at CMPD, worked here for years, and then was police chief in Raleigh, and now is back this time as police chief. So our Colin Mayfield spoke with Chief Patterson in a wide-ranging interview. Let's take a listen in to that conversation in case you missed it.
Well, Chief Patterson, I know who you are, so we won't start there. But we'll just jump right in because I know you don't have too much time. So, you know, we have seen a recent survey of Charlotteans saying that they want their police force to be more proactive, right? And it seems like, you know, speaking to that, you have that task force ready for the holiday season. I think you realize, you know, things that happen around this time of the year.
Right.
What other things are you thinking about, or how else do you think that this department can be proactive under your tenure?
Well, yeah, being proactive is super important to me. I want people to see. I want our officers to be visible out front and people see that. So, of course, we're doing our special operation that we're doing around the Christmas season, and that's going to continue. We already have some operations that we do with our Crown Initiative in the Uptown area, as well as our Entertainment District Unit. We have our crime reduction units. They're always out doing a lot of proactive work. We're going to continue to do that, and as we staff up our department, we'll continue to do that and enlarge those units, because it is very important to me that members of the community see our officers and that they see them out and about. Yeah, and you know, we do walking beats, we do bicycle patrols in our communities, in our neighborhoods. The more we can do that, the better it is for everybody within the neighborhoods and the community.
Well said. Speaking of your officers, right, you made a point even on day one talking about the health and wellness, not even of just of your officers, right, public affairs team, any civilians that work for you in general. Right. Talk about how, you know, you're thinking about that and putting them first. Not saying that Chief Johnny Jennings didn't do that, but it seems like, you know, that's been something you've specified since day one.
Yes, and that really comes out of a survey while I was going through the chief's process, where employees just felt that they were tired, they were overworked, they were stretched, you know, and that comes directly because of our staffing numbers. So like I said, we really have to work on getting those numbers up, but also to making sure that we have things available for them. We have, you know, a mental health unit, psychologist, those kinds of things. We have a therapy doc. Those are wonderful, but also to making sure that employees have a voice, because when employees feel that they're part of processes, where they're part of solutions, then they feel they're really a part of the team and they're willing to do more for the organization. So I really want to hit the ground with hearing from our employees. I'm going to take a listen, learn, lead approach, where I listen to what they have to say about what's most important. What should we be focusing on as an organization? Where should we put our resources? And then from there, I'm going to challenge them to say, okay, you've come up with these challenges, you've told me some things, where do we go from there? I want you to be a part of the solution. That way we get buy-in, right? And they're invested in the outcomes. So it is important to me that our employees are heard and that they're seen and that they know that I will be out there with them doing whatever it is. I've always been the kind of leader who leads from the front. I want to be a part of what they're doing, and that they know that I'm there for them if they need anything.
Love that. Changes. Probably can't go along the list of things that you want to get done right now, but if you can, what changes from a 30,000-foot view are you thinking about? Whether it's within the department, maybe outside, things that you see that that need to be taken care of. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, some of the changes, I'm not coming in to make sweeping changes. I want to come in and assess and see where there are gaps, and then try to fill those gaps. But I know for sure one of the things I want to do is just introduce more technology. Want to be able to work smarter, and bringing in technology that enables to have more eyes and ears to mitigate crime. It's always about making the community safe. You know, when you start talking about technology, sometimes people think it's because you want to target them, Big Brother's watching, that kind of thing. For me, it's not about that. It's about how do we make sure that individuals are not victimized. So I want to use technology to help us in that area. Also, too, I want to really work extensively on expanding our units, making sure that like our detectives, for instance, have enough of them to be able to build strong cases that are prosecutable so that we can put those offenders, work with our DA's office to make sure that justice is served and those offenders don't get back out. It is critically important to make sure that our units are staffed appropriately. Our training unit, make sure our officers are trained, fully trained, that they have the opportunities to train. A lot of times, because we're running from call to call and we're short, we just don't get that training that we want to get in. So I really wanted to expand that. I think that is really important. And I will say that, under Chief Jennings, the foundation was set. The department was doing a lot of great work. We had some technology, but I just looked to bring a little bit more in and to make sure that, we are doing everything we can with the resources that we have.
Okay. Two last things, then I'll open the floor and see if you want to elaborate on anything. I got to jump into this. You talked about crime. I do host, and we did have, Sheriff McFadden on, right? We host the streaming platform, and we talked to some of the Republican representatives across, whether it's GOP, from the chairman from Mecklenburg County. There's been claims thrown out there, right, about local law enforcement not working with federal agents. I know that Sheriff McFadden has his view, so we won't speak for him, but I just want to talk to you a little bit about what you're seeing, right? We saw the immigration operation about 2 weeks ago. The fear that it instilled in our community, I think for everyone, not just certain parts. And then, you do have this incident on the light rail once again, right? How do you go about not only serving the overall eclectic makeup of Charlotte, but also adhering to what the other side is calling you to do? And again, there are opinions all around, so I don't want to necessarily talk about that, but how are you trying to kind of mire your way through all of this?
Yeah, well, I will tell you, fundamentally, our mission is to protect and serve. That's what the police does, right? We make our community safe, and that's what we want to do. Everyone has their individual tasks, functions, and mission. We know that some of the federal agencies, ICE, Border Patrol, and such, they have a specific mission. I know that when they have to do the job that they do it. For us, we don't enforce immigration laws. That is not our duty. That is not our mission, and we want our residents to know that live in this community. When it comes to working with our federal partners, we have a history of working with them, right? We work with our U.S. Attorney's Office, we work with the DEA, FBI, ALE, all those, HSI, and we have wonderful relationships because we are taking violent criminals off the street. When our other partners from other agencies they want to do that, we will work with them in those areas. If there's an operation where they want to remove a very dangerous felon or a criminal from the streets, we will stay within our boundaries of our job, but we will also support them in that if they're trying to get violent criminals off the street. So it's very clear what our roles are. They don't overlap when it comes to ICE and Border Patrol and that kind of thing. And so we just need to all focus on what our mission is and just doing our jobs.
Yeah. In relation to the light rail safety, it seems like also you've been kind of proactive in that response as well. And I know that you have to work with City Council and CATS as well. What does that look like in terms of how you would beef up safety? I mean, you can't probably station an officer on every single platform, let's be realistic, or every train car.
Right.
It is an open system, right? That's something I think the mayor is looking at. In other bigger cities, we know it's closed, but do you have any thoughts of how to make that safer for folks to ride transit around Charlotte?
Well, CATS is working on that, and certainly they have, they're exploring technology and all these various things. I really am not equipped to talk about that because I don't know exactly, because I'm not part of the transit system. Yeah. What I can say from a police perspective, though, is just having an increase of officers, I think, is good, so that people see those personnel, and then working with private security. We should be working together, not separate, in doing that, and that does make a difference. You hit the nail on the head. You cannot, and the public has to know this, we cannot staff and put somebody in every single train. It's just not feasible, it's not sustainable, it's not something that we can do. But what we can do is use technology. We can try to mitigate as much as possible by having roving patrols going through and talking with passengers, and when you see someone that's disruptive, when you see somebody that might be intoxicated, if somebody doesn't have their fare card, or they are banned from the system, that we act on that we don't allow that person to continue to ride the train or violate the law in any way.
said. Thanks for feeling that. Last thing is, I think it's important, and I think that, by you opening up your door by allowing us to come, you are making this a priority to have a relationship with the media, right? What are your thoughts on having like an open dialogue? There's been a lot of discussion, I think, in recent tenures and in other cities, right? Having a transparent police agency that not only is able to give information, right, but also, to their defense, make sure that they keep the information intact to do the investigation. How do you see, under your however many years you're here, utilizing the media's help in that way? Is that something that you...
Yes, I'm committed to transparency. I believe that when we work together, we get a better outcome, a better result. We get information out to the public that they need. For me, it's about responsible journalism, making sure that we put context to the information and that we are providing factual information to the public. When we can't provide it, when I can't give you something, I'm going to tell you that we can't talk about that or we can't disclose it. But when we can, I will. I will make sure that you get it. That has been my history. If you go back and look when I was in Raleigh, I was very out front. Anytime we had an officer-involved shooting, I would petition the release of the body-worn camera. I believe that the public has a right to know that, good, bad, or indifferent, we would do it. And so that is important to me, but I also feel that I look at the media and I lean on the media to make sure that the story is, that the whole story is told, that we add context to it so that the public has all the information. I think they deserve to have that information.
We look forward to working with you. Chief Patterson, that's all I have. Anything else that you wanted to say or
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry, anything else you want to elaborate on or talk about that I didn't ask you, that makes sense or that's important to you?
I would just say, I love this community. I'm so happy to be back in Charlotte. I'm committed to making sure that our officers are doing the work that we have signed up to do and that we hold them accountable. I know oftentimes people feel that the police do things that are questionable. Well, I'm the kind of chief that I'm going to hold my employees accountable. I'm always in conversation with my internal affairs major to make sure that we're doing the right thing. If we have to change policy because something just doesn't look right, we're going to do that because I know that the trust of the public is super important and we always want to maintain that trust.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back here in just 2 minutes here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. Welcome back. We want to get Welcome back. We want to get to some breaking news. This is from NBC affiliate WIS in Columbia, South Carolina. You see it there on your screen. Former Gamecock quarterback Steve Tannehill dies at 52. So here's what we have so far. And again, this is from NBC affiliate in Columbia, WIS. Former South Carolina quarterback Steve Tannehill has died at the age of 52, according to the Spartanburg County Coroner's Office. Known for his trademark mullet and swagger, Tannehill was the Gamecocks' signal caller from 1992 to 1995. He's from Altoona, Pennsylvania, and shattered multiple passing records during his tenure, also being named Sports Illustrated Freshman of the Year back in 1992. Tannehill also notably led the Gamecocks to their first ever bowl victory in the 1995 CarQuest Bowl. After his time in college, Tannehill stayed in South Carolina and transitioned to a coaching career that included 3 straight state championships in Chesterfield High School from 2007 to 2009. A big football community there in Chesterfield.
Ties to here, yeah.
Yeah, ties to here. He also won state titles coaching with 8-man team at Cambridge Academy in Greenwood. Tannehill's coaching career also included stints as an assistant at West Ashley, that's your neck of the woods, Carlene, and 3 years as the head coach at Union County High School, also our neck of the woods here in Charlotte. Tannehill owned a pair of bars in Columbia, Group Therapy, and CB18.
Group Therapy was the spot back in the day now.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And further details regarding his cause of death were limited, but again, a sad day for South Carolina, University of South Carolina community, a great quarterback there.
You know the name. If you're
yeah.
a Gamecock, you know the name. You've seen the name.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen people with the jerseys. You've
yeah.
seen it. Yeah.
That's one of the jerseys that you see.
Oh yes. Yep.
If you go to a game or if you pay attention to the stands.
You see the fans who've been around for a minute.
Yeah.
They got the Tannehill jersey.
Have you met Steve?
No.
Did you meet Steve Tannehill?
No,
okay,
I did not.
okay.
I know. Not had the pleasure. No.
Immensely popular there,
Right.
and obviously what he did on the field, but as a coach too, had success as a coach and as a entrepreneur as well. So again, Steve Tannehill died at the age of 52. Again, this is according to WIS, NBC affiliate there in Columbia, South Carolina. All right, let's switch gears for a moment. It is cold outside. We've been talking about it. Chris Mulcahy talked about it. You felt it as you were getting in your car this morning, getting the kids on the school bus. But here's the thing, and I'm learning this. You got to save money because you can't crank the thermostat all the way up.
You're just learning this.
I'm just learning this. I had to adjust it mid-show. I was like, "Whoa, let me turn it back down." You got to be smart about it because we all want to save a few bucks. We all have some stuff that we need to, get some things, some items for Christmas for our loved ones and our friends. So we want to make sure we have extra bucks in our pocket and not going towards bills necessarily. So I say that to say Duke Energy, always helpful with some tips on how to save money. Because I know you can't resist the urge sometimes to crank that AC up. Yeah, heat up to 78, as somebody told me. I'm not going to expose who they are, but 78 is hot.
It's warm.
And 78 is going. That's going to be an expensive bill. But let's check in with our friends at Duke Energy.
What are some things that people should know, especially about what to do to save money when you're going to be turning up that heat?
Yeah, well, we're looking at, cooler than typical numbers with temperatures. So early next week, we're looking at 7 to 12 degrees, below normal for this time of year. Of course, it's around winter time, so it's going to be colder, but there's a lot of different ways that our customers can save energy and then save on their bill, especially when cold temperatures hit. So just a few of those things. When we see colder temperatures, of course, our heating systems are going to be working harder. And so one way in order to save on energy and on money is turning your thermostat to the lowest comfortable setting. And also thinking about if you're going out of the house for a few hours or to work, that's also a great time to use your programmable thermostat to turn it down a few degrees in order to save while you're away.
What is there like a magic spot, for people to be at?
What we recommend is for customers to set their thermostat to the lowest comfortable setting in order to save on energy and on money, and that's going to be different for every family. And so what we say is that every degree is going to count when it comes to saving energy and money on your bill. And so think about, if you have a programmable thermostat, setting it a few degrees lower while you're away, whether you're doing some shopping, Christmas shopping, or if you are going to be going to work, that's a great opportunity, while you're away, to have it saving on energy and on money, so that you're not going to be spending that heating a home that no one's there.
Is it important to turn on your heat, especially in these cold temperatures, because of freezing pipes, anything like that?
Yeah. We don't typically see freezing pipes around this area. Of course, I am not a freezing pipe expert. We deal with energy. However, we do recommend that our customers look for ways in order to be energy efficient, and that will help them save on their bill. And so, again, turning your thermostat to the lowest comfortable setting. Another great tip in order to use is using caulking and sealing for your doors and your windows. Weather stripping, and that will help reduce the amount of cold air that is coming in or the warm air that's seeping out.
Perfect. Is it a good idea for people to check around their home to see if there's any thing that needs to be caulked or?
Yeah, for sure. This is a great opportunity, right before or even after the holidays, to take advantage of our free home energy assessment. So we have an expert that comes free of charge to your home and looks around your home to your unique family's energy usage. They also will bring a lot of these free goodies that you can use that will make your home more energy efficient. So from caulking to weather stripping to low flow, shower heads and such. So those things are going to be helping you save even more on your bill.
When it comes to, a few Christmases ago, we did see that big outage from a lot of people. Obviously, it was a lot colder then. How are you guys preparing, especially for more energy coming this weekend?
Well, we have a team of meteorologists that constantly check the weather and forecasts, and they're informing our crews and informing, the entire company in order to make sure that we are prepared. And we prepare year-round for storms. So we have tree trimming, we have our crews upgrading our poles and our wires. We have, constantly, looking and adjusting depending on what the weather brings. And so we're always constantly communicating. Another thing that I would say is that it's a great chance for customers to save on money when their heating systems are going to be working harder. Mm-hmm. So taking advantage of those the free home energy assessment, getting caulking and weather stripping in order to close those gaps and trap that warm air in, and also using your ceiling fan. You may not think of it in the wintertime, but you can actually turn it on and it can actually help bring the warm air down and make it feel warmer in your home.
What should people do if there's an outage in their area?
Yeah. If you experience a temporary power outage, you can reach out to us, you can text us, you can call us, you can use the app or our webpage. There's a lot of ways to reach out to us. And also know that we have folks who are monitoring the grid, around the clock. And so we are aware of outages as soon as they occur. And so we have, crews spread throughout our footprint that are ready to respond when there are temporary power outages. We also have smart healing technology, which is great because it helps reroute power to the greatest amount of people as possible when there is a power outage, so that it really isolates to only the issue that our crews will go out to address.
Perfect. Trying to think, fireplaces, especially gas ones. So what should people know about that?
Yeah. So of course, a fireplace can be very cozy, but it's not very energy efficient. So just keeping that in mind. So, with more energy usage, there's going to be a higher cost. So, if you're trying to be more energy efficient in your home, setting your thermostat to the lowest comfortable setting, using the fan in order to bring that warm air down, sealing those cracks and gaps, and then of course, again, signing up for our free home energy assessment, which is going to be a great help, and that's going to be very unique to your home.
Let's talk about the mountains a little bit, because I know that they're going to be really, really cold. With Helene that did come through, is there any areas that are not or still offline, or they're all set to go? And
Yeah, so we have been present ever since Hurricane Helene hit, in the mountains. We have been present ever since. Of course, we're always present across our footprint in order to make sure that we are, delivering reliable electricity to our customers.
Great. And what are some things that they would need to know, especially with snow and the forecast and everything?
Yeah. So, of course, it's important for everyone to, stay tuned to what's happening in the weather. Of course, we have our team of meteorologists that do just the same and make sure that our crews are prepared and know what's headed our way so that we are ready to respond as quickly and as safely as possible if there is a temporary power outage.
Great. And they can still call the number to...
All of those things,
yeah.
Yes.
Is there anything that they should be doing as far as getting their homes ready? I know probably the same stuff. But with that snow, do they need to clear anything for power or no?
So we prepare for storms year-round, and so trimming trees. A lot of times what we may see with a temporary power outage is a tree limb or a tree that falls on a power line, and then we have to restore that. And so that's why we have crews year-round that go around our power lines in order to make sure that they are clear of any troubled trees that may impact power.
Great, perfect. Anything else that you would like to add or that you think I'm missing for people?
Sure. I think a great way for our customers to stay informed is looking at their usage alerts and also going to their account and seeing what their usage is compared to the last billing cycle, compared to last year. The best thing really to understand how your energy usage is either increasing or decreasing is looking and comparing apples to apples. So looking at last December, for example, or last November if that's your latest bill, and see what your usage has been. And maybe see what has been causing the spikes, whether that's been temperature or whether that's been, you've added a family member into your home, or whether you have just a lot more appliances or a lot more devices that you're plugging in. There's a lot of different things that we can learn from our energy usage in order to be more energy efficient.
Great. I'm going to ask you this question too.
Yeah.
Christmas trees.
Yeah.
A lot of people will be having, I keep mine on. How much of that does it really do anything big or no, it doesn't use a lot of energy?
The more energy that you use, the more that we're going, how let me put that. No, you're fine. Let me reroute the way I was going to say that.
Yeah.
So, it's the holiday season, and a lot of folks are using, lights, Christmas trees, etc., in order to celebrate. And while it's very beautiful, we encourage our customers to, be energy smart when they're decorating. So, using LED lights, for example, are going to be using a lot less energy and also providing that beautiful decorative lighting.
All right, some good advice there to save some energy and save a few bucks on your energy bill. All right. Thank you for joining us here this morning on the 9 to 11 Live Impact News Stream. Charlotte Today is next, followed by Midday, and then we're back at 12:30. We'll see you a little later.